Hi everyone, I'm Joe from Joe Pro Deco, and I just want to do a small review on a product I've been using in the last couple of weeks. Now, I was kindly given this sample. I think it's a 750ml or a 500ml, can't quite see it now, but I was given a sample pot of this Coovar Shellac Prime All. Now, this is Zinsser's equivalent to bin, or as people call it, red bin, as opposed to blue bin, purple bin, yellow bin. Anyway, I just want to go through a few things that I've actually tried this on. Now, I have tried it on a water stain. I've applied it to bare timber to hold back the knots, which I was then applying over that with 2 to 3 coats of water-based satin. And I've actually used it over a varnished and stained door. So I've covered the 3 areas which are quite important for this product, and I have compared it to Zinsser as well. I did run out of this stuff, bought another tin of Zinsser bin, so then I was able to compare it on stained varnished doors. So first of all, the bare timber, it went on very well. It seems to have enough open time to be able to get it on quickly. You still have to be very quick with the shellac based primers, sealers, but it seems to have that little bit longer than the Zinsser, possibly just very, very slightly. Nothing really to talk about, but it definitely wasn't any worse than the Zinsser. So let's just say it was on par. I mean, I didn't have the Zinsser at that point, so I wasn't able to compare at that point. Now, I thought it covered very well. It was definitely on par with the Zinsser bin. In this particular case, I will, put my head on the line with this one and say that it was slightly better than the Zinsser bin when it came to opacity over bare wood, and the knots, I've been back 2 to 3 weeks later having done that, and the knots were definitely not bleeding through. But I am aware that you need to give these things a bit longer to be 100% sure, but up to now it's looking good. So bare timber as a primer and knotting solution in one, it works very well, and it is on par with the Zinsser bin. Now I want to talk about the next thing I tried it on, which was a water stain, which was on a ceiling and a wall in a job I did about a week and a half ago, finished about a week and a half ago. So what I did was I applied the Coovar. I did thin it slightly with a little bit of meths. Now, on that note, comparing it to Zinsser, it is a little bit thicker than the Zinsser. The Zinsser is a bit more runny in consistency. So the Coovar, I was able to just thin very, very slightly. So I rolled it on with a mini roller, a 4-inch roller. It was I think it was a Hamilton Perfection. And I went over it once, so it was just one coat over the stain, just making sure that it was all covered, because at this point I was quite confident that the opacity and the coverage was good, having tried it on the bare timber. I was actually painting the wall with a Armstead durable matte. Polished pebble was the colour. The first coat went on and there was slight flashing after the first coat. On the second coat, it completely disappeared. There was no flashing, it completely covered. So I was very, very happy with this product going over water stains. The ceiling also was Armstead vinyl matte in brilliant white, and there was no flashing at all after the second coat on that either. So really happy with that. So the third thing I used it on was, which is the job I'm on now, was stained varnished doors, very dark stained varnished doors. So I just did the initial prep, which was just sugar soap in the doors. Didn't sand or anything like that. I just went straight on with the Coovar. So this is where I was able to compare it to the Zinsser bin. Now, the Zinsser bin was a little bit easier to apply. Like I say, it is that little bit more runny, and it just seems to go on that little bit quicker. The Coovar did, however, cover slightly better. The opacity was slightly better. It makes sense. The Zinsser is thinner, so unless you thin the Coovar to the same consistency, then obviously it should have slightly better opacity because it's going on that slight bit thicker. So I'm presuming, based on that if if you do thin to the same consistency as the bin, it will be exactly the same. So that brings me on to the next thing, really. So value for money wise, I think the Coovar is slightly, very slightly cheaper, but that all depends on where you're getting your paint from. I'm sort of comparing this to a Dulux decorating centre. So the Coovar you can get at a slightly cheaper price, and you're able to actually thin it to get it to the same level as the bin. So therefore makes the Coovar better value for money currently. So that's my logic behind it. So yeah, I hope this little review helps you. I hope it makes you decide whether you want to give this a try or not. In my opinion, it's well worth a try because it's no worse than the bin. It's probably slightly better than the bin based on opacity, even though it isn't quite as easy to apply. So you've got to weigh up the options there. But then this stuff will probably, the majority of the time, end up being slightly better value for money. So yeah, all in all, a thumbs up for Coovar Shellac Prime, or give it a try. You know, I know that we've all been using Zinsser for years, and it's been the only product, apart from I think Johnston's do their own version of a shellac primer. So unless you go to Johnston's, and I presume most of you have just been using bin because it's the only option out there. Well, now we've got this, and this is a serious competitor. So give it a try. Thank you for listening, everybody. Please subscribe to my channel because there may be a lot of useful things that I'm going to be recording on there. So yeah, please subscribe. Please like my videos. And I will speak to you very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.